Hello again, everyone. This is George Packard with Family Lawn and Landscape, and today I want to talk a little bit about GPS units in your vehicles. Not everybody needs these things, and what I mean by that is if you have a small business and you're a hands-on kind of guy where you're in the truck every day with the guys, there's no need for you to have this. However, if you have so much as one extra truck and you're depending on your guys to go out and do the work for you and whatnot, you need to have a GPS unit in your truck. This is my opinion only, but I'm just going to tell you from experience the things that can happen to you, okay, without this, and the benefits to actually having this. The first benefit is if you're paying these guys by the hour, you need to make sure they start at a certain time. Let's say you start at 7 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning. You're paying them from that point forward, okay? So GPS tracking unit is going to show you what time that truck actually got on the road. So you know what you're paying for there. In the past, we've had employees, before we put the GPS units in, that would show up to work at 8, 9 o'clock and sometimes even 10 o'clock. And we would always wonder why they were so non-productive, and they would come up with one excuse after another. You know, we were talking with customers, you know, we had a flat tire, we had a low tire, I don't know, there was a knock in the truck, there was something, it was always something, okay? We've eliminated that with putting the GPS units in the truck. So they know that I know that when that key gets turned on, that's when you're getting paid, okay? And they know that. Now, miraculously, they're on time, so imagine that. So anyway, that's that. The other thing is you can make sure that everybody gets mowed, okay? And what I mean by that is they're not skipping lawns on you. There's nothing worse than getting a call from a customer that says, hey, nobody mowed my lawn this week. And then I've got to jump in the truck and run over there or send one of the managers over there to look at it. And sure enough, it hadn't been mowed. Of course, when you ask your guys if they mowed the property, of course they tell you they did. This eliminates that, okay? This eliminates that 100%. You know what time that truck got there, how long that truck was there, and what I mean by that, why that is important to you. If you know it should take 20 minutes to mow that property, to do it correctly, it should take 20 minutes, and your guys show up there for 6 minutes and they leave, that's a red flag to you to tell you they're not taking care of that property properly, and they're probably going to cost you that client before long. So the benefit to that is it gives you a chance to jump on it ahead of time and say, hey guys, how could you possibly go in there and mow that in 6 minutes? There's just no way, okay? They're cutting corners. So they probably didn't mow it at all. They were probably sitting in the truck eating a sandwich or whatever, So that's going to help you. On the other hand, if they were there for 45 minutes, here's another thing that has come back to plague us. If it's what we call a mow, blow, and go client, where it's 20 minutes, you should be there for 20 minutes and that's it, in and out of there and gone down the road. And you're there for an hour. Something happened. I want to know why you were there for an hour. I've had this happen to us in the past, and you're going to have the same thing more than likely. The guys would do extras for people, and then they put the cash in their pocket. So that's just another way that they can basically screw you, and they will. And again, I'm not talking about all employees, but I'm just telling you about a lot of experience that I've had with employees. We've had this happen to us quite often. Okay, so again, it doesn't mean everyone's this way, but you have the tool now in your truck to help you watch this and monitor this, okay? So that would send up another red flag to you. Why is it every time that truck goes over there, it's there for 45 minutes? They're either sleeping in the truck, or they're over there. If they didn't have a breakdown of some sort, they're sleeping in the truck, or they're doing an extra for somebody. They might even be mowing a property right next door or a few houses down and putting that cash in their pocket. We've had that happen to us also. So all things that you need to watch. Let's see. The other thing, it shows you which crews are productive. So if you have a couple crews on the road and you can see crew number 1 is getting through 20 jobs a week and every job averages 15, 20 minutes, and you don't have any complaints from the customers, these guys are doing their job. They're getting it done. 20 accounts a day, not a week, but a day. Now let's say you have group number 2 over here, and they're getting 15 jobs done a day, and you look at what they're doing, how long they're at these properties, and they're there for 6, 7, 10 minutes. Well, they're still flying through the properties. They're not taking care of the properties the way it should be. If your average time is 15 minutes for two guys to go in there and do that property right and do it correctly, it should be the same for Group A as it is for Group B. They should be doing the same thing. And if not, you better check into it, find out why they're not. Is it bigger properties? Usually both crews have some bigger properties, So you got to look at all the variables that come into that. But if it's not bigger properties and these guys aren't spending the time on the properties, where are they spending their time? What are they doing in the truck? The other thing is it shows you idle time in the truck. And why idle time is important is because, especially in the summer down in Florida, when it gets really, really hot, we've had guys just sit at one house for a half an hour. And then they would leave, and the homeowner would call us up and tell us, hey, nobody mowed my property. Your truck sat outside, but nobody mowed it. Well, here these guys are just sitting in the truck cooling down with the air conditioning on. Okay? I'm paying the fuel for that. My motor's still running. That's still wearing out my motor, and they're not doing the work. Not to mention that, how does it look to all the customers when your guys are out there and they're not doing the work and they're just sitting in the truck smoking cigarettes or whatever they're doing? So all of these are tools that using GPS will help you with, okay? Help you control your business. The servicing of the other clients, I touched on that a little bit previously before we had the GPS units in. It's nothing to go out and mow a property and then have a neighbor walk up to you and say, hey, how much to mow my grass? Happens all the time, right? Okay. Well, dishonest employees that we've had in the past would actually, give them a price, whatever it is, and they were putting that money in their pocket. They're using my equipment to do it. I'm paying for their labor to do it on top of it. And, my fuel, all of that, my insurance, the whole 9 yards. They've got me, in a nutshell, they basically are taking 100% advantage of me in that situation. Found this out because I put a GPS unit in the truck, and that 15-minute job would take them a half an hour every single week. It was a red flag to me. I drove out, watched it, saw exactly what was happening. They were mowing the neighbor across the way and putting the money in their pocket. So these are things that happen, so you got to be mindful of it, and the GPS unit can help you with all of that, okay? The wasting of the fuel, that's another thing. It'll show you if these guys are at the gas stations all the time, constantly going there to get water. That was a pet peeve of mine forever, and it still is. When I show up for work every day, I've got my lunch packed, I've got my sandwich in there, I've got a bag of chips in there, my drinks in another cooler. We buy ice first thing in the morning, throw it on everything. I'm good to go. I don't have to stop anywhere all day unless I had to go to the bathroom or something, okay? That, to me, is productivity. That's being productive. I had a couple crews that were at a gas station 5 times a day. Well, I'm still paying them. So you're paying for them to go there and screw off. You're paying for the fuel, the wear and tear of going out of the way, going to that gas station every day. And some people might call it nitpicking. I don't. I own the business. That's my money that they're spending. Okay? They're not being productive. They're not getting the lawns done. Bring your stuff with you when you come. I don't know how I got off of that, but just wasting the time on the fuel, I guess, is where that came from. But, and then labor time. It's a complete waste of that, too. You're paying these guys and they're screwing off, And then you can also see when they return from work. So, and a good example of that is we'd have the good crews that we got out on the road. They'd always get back, let's say, at 7 o'clock at night, between 6:30 and 7. Your bad crews are always coming back in at 5:30, but yet when it comes time to get paid, it's always 6:30 on their time card. So the GPS unit eliminates that. They'll more than pay for themselves. Believe me, take the time, put them in your vehicles. I know that you'll be thankful that you did. Hope this helps. George Packard, Family Lawn and Landscape.